Emily French from Emily French Hoof Care. I'm a hoof care practitioner and an educator. My hoof care journey started over 11 years ago with an Arab I used to have. One day I pulled her out of the pasture thinking I was going to have a lesson, and she was off. And I was pretty disappointed I had to cancel my lesson. So from there, I got recommendations for a hoof care practitioner that could help me. And that's when I met a wonderful, knowledgeable lady who encouraged me to start educating myself on hoof care. And that's when I enrolled in my training program called PHCP. It is a wonderful, in-depth, holistic approach to hoof care. And that's when I realized that just picking out my horse's hooves and hiring somebody to trim them every few weeks was definitely not enough. I learned how to evaluate my horse's hooves and what steps to take to make improvements. The good news is that if your horse is still breathing, there's room for improvement. I have gotten so many messages on social media about how to solve hoof issues. Horse owners have horses that are lame, they're not usable, their hoof care is not what they want, their hooves don't look the way that they would like, and so that's why I'm starting these series of webinars, is because I really want to empower the horse owner to take control of their horse's hoof care themselves and stop wasting time and money hiring somebody else to do it for you when you can do it yourself. So what I'm going to be teaching you today is how to evaluate your horse's landing, and if your horse is using their hooves correctly. And people say, what? My horse can use their hooves incorrectly? And the answer is yes, they definitely can. There's 3 types of landings. The first type of landing is a toe first landing, and that's when the first thing that makes contact with the ground is your horse's toe. So that means that they're not comfortable at all using the back half of their foot, which is definitely a problem. The second type is flat landing, which means that they're not very comfortable using their heels. And the third type of landing is heel first, and that is definitely ideal. That's when your horse extends their foot to take a stride and they land heel first. The heels have what's called a digital cushion, and that is like a shock absorber that protects all the internal structures of the hoof and helps protect their joints. So if they're not landing heel first, that's a big problem that is going to snowball one day into body issues or other pathologies. So an example is if you hurt your foot and your foot's sore and you're limping a little bit, then you're putting pressure on your other leg and your other foot more than you normally would, and you're compensating somehow. You're putting pressure on other parts of your body that aren't used to holding the load, and maybe your knee starts hurting over time, maybe your hip or your back. That's the same thing that happens with horses. So this is a problem that needs to be addressed and is very important. And the first step to solving the problem is understanding what's happening. So I'm going to go get my horse and put her on the lunge line. The 2 ways you can do this are to put your horse on a lunge line on the biggest circle you can at either a fast walk or a trot, and video them. That way you can play it back in slow motion to be able to easily see exactly what part of the hoof is landing first. The second way is to have somebody lead them at a walk or a trot down a straightaway like a driveway, as long as it's not rocky and they're not going to slip. And that's really good because the horse isn't turning at all, they're just going straight. So that's pretty easy to see how they're landing as well. So I'm going to go get my horse on the lunge line and I will be right back. So this is my quarter horse gelding Deuce. He's, I think, 16 years old. He's had shoes on and off his whole life. And he's barefoot right now. And if you can tell, I'll have to slow it down and post it in slow-mo. But it looks like he's landing flat. He's not landing toe first, that's pretty obvious. And he's not fully extending and landing heel first. So I will post this in slow motion so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. All right, we're back. In this video, I put an old pair of Easy boots, Easy Care Hoof boots I have on him. And now I want you guys to see how his landing is different. Do you see how he's extending his legs forward more and he's landing more obviously on his heel? So this is one obvious way to solve the problem if your horse's hooves are not comfortable. If they're not comfortable using their heels, then they need some sort of some sort of hoof protection. And this is what I use a lot on my horses because it's very simple and I can manage it easily. Silly boy. I hope you guys can see the difference. I'll play this back in slow motion. Bye. I hope you guys were able to see what I was talking about with the landing of my horse. I want to let you guys know that I am just barely scratching the surface of these issues. This is a great place to start, and I hope it's simple enough. I have some homework for everybody. Everyone that's in this webinar, I would love if you could take a video of your horse at a fast walk or preferably a trot in slow motion. I think that would be easiest. And if you could please post it on my personal Facebook page, Emily French. My business page is Emily French Hoof Care. And introduce your horse, the name of your horse, what breed, and how old. And that way we can start learning from each other and we can collectively get better at recognizing the things that we're looking for. So next week I'm going to have another webinar on boot fitting. I'm not going to use the Easy Care boots this time. I'm going to try the Scoot boots. So I'll have a new pair and I'll show you how to fit those on my horse. And also I can show you how to fit the Easy Care boots as well, depending on which ones you'd like to use. So I have a little incentive. Anybody that posts their horse's landing video on my site will get, I can personally email you my discount code for Scoot boots, and you can use it for yourself, you could use it for friends, family, whoever. We just want to help as many horses as possible. So please let me know if you have feedback. You can also post that on my site. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, if you have any questions, what I can do better next time. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to do better, especially with taking videos. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you guys had a great time. If you know anybody else who would be interested in this video, I'm trying to help as many horse owners as possible. So if you could do me a big favor and forward it, maybe post it on your social media or forward it to anybody you know who might benefit from this, I would really, really appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you back next week. And then I have my third one the week after on August 12th at the same time. Thank you very much. See you next week.